Welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Once again, I'm doing the usual different character voices. It's something we'll just have to learn to live with until the studio reopens. Here's the lineup for this week. The news, of course, Community Bulletin Board, and 55 Plus News. And some commentary at the end. That's the show. Now here's the social media reminder. You can watch us on YouTube at Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, also on Facebook, and you can listen on the radio at WERA 96.7 FM. Now, on to the news.
As of Sunday evening, February 14th, reports show the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Arlington had reached 12,589. Regular viewers and listeners will note the continuing increase in our reported case numbers. Meanwhile, on Tuesday afternoon, February 9th, Arlington County Public School Superintendent Francisco Duran announced the following schedule for the reopening of Arlington's public schools. Generally, students from pre-kindergarten through second grade will return between March 2nd and March 5th. These dates also apply to students enrolled in the elementary special education programs and elementary students enrolled in Interlude. Students from grades 3 through 6 and also in grade 9 will return between March 9th and March 12th. These dates also apply to students enrolled in the special education programs for grades 6 through 12 and secondary students enrolled in the Interlude and PEP programs. Students from grades 7 and 8 and also from grades 10 through 12 will return between March 16th and March 19th. This does not appear to be a full-scale return. Students will be able to go to school twice a week on either Tuesdays and Wednesdays or Thursdays and Fridays. Mr. Duran stated that more than half of the Arlington Public Schools staff members have received a dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and that those who received the dose in January are scheduling their second dose appointments. Elsewhere, effective March 9th, 2021, Arlington Public Library is reopening the Shirlington and Westover branch libraries for a 15-minute express library service. Library Director Diane Kresh states, "This has been a long year and Arlingtonians have missed their libraries. We are delighted to bring back time-limited, in-person browsing and reconnect with the community we love." End quote. The operating hours are set to be Tuesday through Thursday, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. At the Shirlington and Westover Express service locations, library patrons will be able to browse books and media, pick up holds, check out items by using the self-serve checkout stations, and receive physically distanced assistance for account management and wayfinding. The library's priority is to provide library access to as many patrons as possible while ensuring patron and staff safety by limiting the number of people in the building at one time. Patrons will be able to browse and check out books and media for 15 minutes initially, with the possibility of expanding to 30 minutes after evaluating patron demand. However, no other services, such as public seating, meeting rooms, and public computers, will be available. Also, to their credit, the Arlington County Board conducted another COVID work session which streamed on February 2nd. The meeting contained a considerable amount of detailed information, much of it procedural. Hotline call statistics were provided and discussed. Symptom onset tracking was also discussed. New case counts were discussed, and it was noted that the situation was still problematic. Arlington's schedule system was discussed. During this meeting, questions were apparently entertained via online communication. Dr. Ruben Varghese said that Arlington is trying to compensate for cancellations from the Virginia Hospital Center. Hope for vaccinations to reach the majority of Arlingtonians was expressed for the end of April, but this was based on the idea that the available vaccine supply will increase beyond its current rate. Nobody was certain. This is due to supply limitations which are beyond the county's control. The county is trying to reach eligible residents even if they haven't registered. The meeting, which lasted for nearly 2 hours, can be viewed in its entirety on the Arlington TV channel on YouTube. One practical piece of advice: Arlingtonians over the age of 65 or those with chronic medical conditions should pre-register through the county website. Libby Garvey raised an interesting point. As of the meeting, she had pre-registered but had not received confirmation. However, there was no mechanism in place at the time of the meeting. A vaccine update screen was provided and reviewed by Dr. Varghese. The overall situation is undergoing many changes, including an announcement from the federal government that local pharmacies will also be participating in vaccine distribution. There was also some discussion of what is known as line jumping, a situation in which some residents take advantage of the system to receive vaccinations before their normal turn. Dr. Varghese said that, at present, it seems to be a very small problem in Arlington. He expressed hope that people would continue to do the right thing. Beyond that, much of the discussion involved various jurisdictions with various rules. Arlington is trying to achieve consistency. Although the current interest has shifted to vaccinations, Arlington is still trying to keep up with testing. Community transmission remains high. Over time, vaccine hesitancy may also affect distribution. The last section of the meeting got down into details, including questions about Arlington's progress relative to that of other jurisdictions, and the accuracy of some of the reports that provide data. It may be helpful to remember that the goal is more about protecting against COVID than conducting some kind of inter-community contest. The final wrap-up of the meeting missed a point that we will make here. That is, that residents should continue with the established safe practices such as masking and social distancing. This applies even to people who have received the vaccine. Even after the second dose, it may take another 7 to 14 days before the full effect of the immunization is reached. It may also help to remember that a 94% effective rate still carries a 6% risk. The subject now turns to ice. First, we do want to acknowledge that Arlington County did a much better job preparing the bike trails for the most recent ice storm. Also, speaking of ice in a different sense, Virginia-based immigrant rights organization La Collective VA is calling on Arlington County officials to put a stop to information sharing between local law enforcement and ICE, also known as U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. La Collectiva said the effort comes after learning of multiple cases in which migrant community members have been arrested in Arlington and then transferred to ICE for deportation proceedings. Through public records requests, La Collectiva found that the Arlington County Sheriff's Office handed those in local enforcement custody over to ICE more than 100 times in 22 months. We have a quote. "This collaboration between violent state agencies violates the dignity of our loved ones and endangers our neighbors and families who are at risk," the organization said in a statement. Both the Arlington County Police Department and the Sheriff's Office have confirmed La Collectiva's findings and data. According to Arlington County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Major Tara Johnson, the Sheriff's Office does not honor ICE requests, that is, to detain a person for up to 48 hours, unless the detainer is signed by a judge. Sheriff's Office employees are instructed to notify ICE when someone with a signed detainer request is being released from jail. In another statement, County Board Chair Matt DiFerrante said that over the last year, the board has discussed individual cases causing real concern with La Collectiva and other organizations and community leaders. And now, even though the Super Bowl is over, a report about football. Arlington Public Schools football players had their first official practice on February 4th in preparation for their first planned games on Monday, February 22nd. There is no word yet on whether spectators will be allowed to attend the games. According to Arlington Public Schools spokesman Frank Balavia, staff are working on these plans now. In an email from Yorktown football parent Diane Boyle, she stated, and we quote, "The stands are rarely at capacity even in non-pandemic times. I'm certain that we can safely have limited spectators and hopeful APS announces a workable plan soon." That's the news. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. During the month of February, in honor of Black History Month, the Office of Community Arts will be posting step-by-step art videos that focus on a different artist. This week, they will look at the works of Kara Walker. Then you can use her work as an inspiration for your own project. This week's video will be posted on the DPR YouTube Community Arts channel. For information, contact Liz Steinbeck at esteinbach@arlingtonva.us. That's on Wednesday, February 24th from 11:15 a.m. to 12 o'clock noon. Next up, we have an event for pre-kindergarten kids between the ages of 3 and 5 years. You can sign them up for a virtual preschool presentation all about tadpoles. It's a great selection for a subject the little ones are sure to relate to. Once you've registered, the organization will email you a link to Microsoft Teams before the program start time. Please have your device ready to go prior to the start of the program. Again, registration is required. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's activity number 622-911-K. And it's on Thursday, February 25th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Now it's time for something for wise old adults. Love is in the air. Mating season has begun for our local owls. Owls start earlier than any other birds in the area. You can join a naturalist to learn more. The whole family is welcome, but the program was developed for an adult audience. They will email you a link to Microsoft Teams before the program start time, and of course, you'll want to have your device ready to go before the program starts. Registration is required. For more information, you can call Maddie Koenig at 703-228-4747. 703-228-3403. Register online or call 703-228-4747. Activity number is 622-841-K. And it's coming up on Thursday, February 25th from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Our last CBB event is for kids ages 5 to 10. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. But wait! Where are they marching to? And why are they marching so much? Well, here's a chance to join a naturalist and explore the amazing world of ants. You'll learn about how everything is done for the hive rather than for the queen. You'll need to register children and adults because children must be accompanied by a registered adult. For more information, call 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's activity number 622-921-II. And it's coming up on Monday, March 1st from 11 o'clock to 11:30 a.m. at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. Are you lost in a sea of accumulated paper? Is it more like an ocean? Well, here's a chance to join Virginia Cooperative Extension's Master Financial Education volunteers for a workshop about controlling clutter and becoming organized. You'll learn how to organize papers and decide what documents to keep and which ones to shred. You can register online or call 703-228-4747, and that's activity number 912-404-14. It's coming up on Wednesday, February 24th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. You gotta be 55 or older, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is a chance to join a morning walk with a fast-paced group. It's the Aurora Hill Fast Forwards. It'll probably be pretty chilly, so that should keep everyone moving. You'll walk a 2 to 3 mile loop, including some hills, so it's bound to be a good workout. Register online or call 703-228-4747. That's activity number 912-201-20, and it's coming up on Friday, February 26th from 9 o'clock to 10:30 a.m. That's at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, do you love your heart? Do you love good food? How do you balance the two? Well, here's a chance to join Virginia Cooperative Extension Master Food volunteers to learn some heart-healthy tips and some recipes. This time the focus is on foods that will help you manage your blood pressure. You can register online or call 703-228-4747, and that's activity number 912-501-6. That's on Friday, February 26th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. It's for ages 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Last up, it's the Saturday Night Supper Club. Order from a favorite restaurant or cook a special meal while chatting with 55 plus friends. Socializing can be hard during a pandemic, but this get-together provides a low-pressure environment to meet new people and talk to old friends. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. just mention activity number 912801-22. That's on Saturday, February 27th from 5 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. for ages 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Anyway, that's about all I got for 55 plus news. Now I think we're going to have to sit through some commentary.
It was nearly 1 year ago, on March 11th, 2020, that we announced the closure of Arlington County Public Schools. This came 2 days after the first case of the novel coronavirus in Arlington was announced. The following weeks showed an increase in the case numbers. Reports as of March 16th indicated that the number of coronavirus cases in Arlington was 9. Reports as of March 17th indicated that the number of coronavirus cases in Arlington was 13. Reports as of March 19th indicated that the number of coronavirus cases in Arlington was 17. Reports as of March 22nd indicated the number of coronavirus cases in Arlington was 26. By April 13th, the case count was over 300. By the end of May, it was over 1,800. Throughout this time, Arlington County Public Schools had been closed, and they remained closed through the end of the regular school year in June. It was around that time, on June 12, 2020, that Virginia officially entered Phase 2 of the Governor's Forward Virginia Plan, along with the rest of Northern Virginia. However, there were no summer sessions at Arlington County Public Schools, and the schools did not reopen for fall classes when the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Arlington had exceeded 3,600. Now, in February 2021, the number of new COVID cases in Arlington routinely exceeds 400 per week. As of February 8th, only 4,495 Arlington residents had been fully vaccinated. On Tuesday, February 9th, it was announced that Arlington County Public Schools would reopen soon. It's hard to see the public health basis for this decision. COVID vaccinations have begun in Arlington, but most recipients have received only one of the 2 required doses, and the eligible groups do not appear to have included teachers. In addition, the minimum age for vaccine eligibility is 16, which excludes the vast majority of Arlington public school students. And yet, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam has announced a plan to make in-person learning available as of March 15, 2021. And Arlington County Public School Superintendent Francisco Duran has announced a 2-day-per-week schedule for students to return to school. This would result in students potentially receiving as much as 3 months of 40% in-person learning for the remainder of the current school year. The reduced schedule is understandable given the physical need to reduce class sizes. However, all but the oldest of these students will be completely unvaccinated. Recent case data from Virginia shows that 13% of COVID-19 cases involved children aged 19 or younger, and that more than 5% are under the age of 10. Yes, elementary school children are susceptible to COVID. In addition, there is considerable evidence that compliance with mask wearing and social distancing has not been enforceable among adults. Children and teens may be no more compliant than their parents. From an economic perspective, the advantages for parents wishing to return to work are limited. A return during 2 days per week is better than nothing, but there are many jobs for which that won't help much. Given the new, more transmissible strains of the virus, an alternate schedule might have been safer, returning to school for the beginning of the fall semester in September. By then, it is expected that more vaccines will be available, and it is nearly certain that many more will have been administered. It may even be possible to vaccinate younger children by then. Even the rosiest of metrics, which have not yet appeared, can be misleading. What rate of death or lasting disability is acceptable to the victim? And that concludes this week's show. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well.
I will play something, and it starts with, it's called Gypsy Arabic Passion.
Sounds good to me. In case you just joined us, this is Jorge Serafin from Patagonia, Argentina.
Comodoro Rivadavia.
Yeah,
Yes.
playing incredible guitar here on this little interview spot, and I think we'll be hearing more, excuse me, from Jorge before too long. So for now, thanks for listening and for joining us. I'm Craig Nolan. Back to the desk.